Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, "Men are so simple and so subject to present needs that he who deceives will always find someone willing to be deceived." You know who you've been deceiving? Yourself. Every morning you wake up and say, "Today is different." Every night you do the exact same thing you did yesterday. And you tell yourself it doesn't count. It was just once, just this time, just because you had a bad day. James Clear says in Atomic Habits, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." You've been falling for 10 years. Not because you're weak, because your system is designed to make you fall. And you built it yourself. Let me show you exactly how you did it. Every promise you made yourself at 6 a.m., you broke it by 11 p.m. Every time you said, "Never again," you meant, "Not right now." Every time someone who loves you looked at you with that face, the one that says, "I don't believe you anymore," you said, "I mean it this time." And you did mean it for 4 hours, maybe a day if you were strong. And then your hand moved on its own. Same motion, same shame, same lie you told yourself about why it doesn't count this time. You know what the worst part is? It's not that you can't stop. It's that you won't build a system that makes you stop. You keep trying to use willpower, discipline, promises to yourself in the mirror. And Machiavelli already told you 500 years ago why that doesn't work. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. You've been trying to be a lion, fighting your addiction with force, with shame, with New Year's resolutions and apps that track your streak and promises you make to people who still believe in you. But your addiction isn't a wolf you can scare away. It's a trap you built, a trap you walk into every single day. And traps aren't defeated with strength, they're defeated with recognition. So let me show you the trap. Let me show you the system you built that keeps you addicted. Because until you see it, you'll keep walking into it, and 10 years from now, you'll still be here, older, grayer, more ashamed, but still trapped. Here's how your system works. James Clear breaks down every habit into 4 parts: cue, craving, response, reward. And your addiction follows this perfectly. The cue is the trigger. For you, maybe it's 11 p.m. Maybe it's boredom. Maybe it's that feeling in your chest when you're alone and the silence gets too loud. Maybe it's the drawer you walk past, the app on your phone, the route home that goes past that store. The craving is what you think you want. Relief, dopamine, 5 minutes where you don't have to be you. The response is the action, the scroll, the smoke, the bite, the click, the thing your hand does before your brain even decides. And the reward? Here's where it gets ugly. The reward isn't pleasure. It's not relief. The reward is 5 minutes of nothing. 5 minutes where you're numb enough that the thing eating you alive goes quiet. And then the shame comes. But here's what your brain files away. It worked. For 5 minutes, it worked. And your brain doesn't care about the shame that comes after. Your brain only cares about the relief that came during. So it files that pattern away, deep. In the same place it files "don't touch fire" and "run from danger," survival level deep. And now, 10 years later, you're trying to overwrite a survival pattern with a promise you made to yourself in the shower, and you wonder why it doesn't work. Clear says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." Your goal is to quit. Your system is designed to relapse. Every time you keep your phone by your bed, every time you keep the candy in the drawer, every time you take the route home that passes the store, every time you tell yourself, "I'll just check once," You're not fighting the addiction. You're maintaining the system that feeds it. And your brain follows the system, not your intentions, not your promises, the system. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." In public, you appear fine, functional, trying, getting better. You perform recovery. You talk about how hard you're working, how much progress you've made, how different this time is. But in private, at 3 a.m. when no one's watching, you're still the same person doing the same thing. And the gap between who you appear to be and who you actually are, that gap is killing you. Not the addiction, the lie. The lie you tell everyone. The lie you tell yourself. The lie that you're trying. Because here's the truth. Trying is what you do when you're not committed to the outcome. Trying is what you say when you want credit for effort without accountability for results. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince must have no other objective, no other thought, nor take up any profession but that of war." You're at war with a version of yourself that's been running your life for 10 years. And you're treating it like a hobby, like something you'll get to when you have time, like something you'll fix when you feel motivated. But wars aren't won with motivation. They're won with strategy. And your strategy has been, hope it goes away on its own. It won't. Let me tell you why your addiction isn't aging while you are. Because there are two types of addiction, and you need to know which one you have. Type 1, the ghost. This one started with pain, age 14, age 19, age 25. Whenever it was for you, something happened. Not always big, not always dramatic, but something that made you feel like you were drowning, and you reached for the thing, the substance, the screen, the food, the ritual. And it worked. For 5 minutes, you weren't drowning anymore. And your brain said, remember this. When pain comes, do this. And it built a system that says pain equals danger, numb equals safe. Machiavelli called this fortuna, fortune, or the circumstances you didn't choose. You didn't choose the pain. You didn't choose to be the kind of person who learned that feelings are unbearable. That was fortune. But what you do now? That's virtu, your power, your choice. And if you're still feeding the ghost 10 years later, it's because you're still running from the same pain. The pain you never processed. The pain you buried under 10 years of numbing. Clear writes, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. And every time you numb instead of feel, you're voting for the same identity. I am someone who cannot handle pain. And your brain believes you. Type 2, the parasite. This one didn't start with pain. It started with engineering. You were 16 and bored and you opened an app. An app designed by the smartest behavioral scientists in the world. An app designed to hijack your dopamine system. To learn what you want before you know you want it. To make the next video, the next post, the next hit easier than anything else you could do. And it worked. Not because you're weak, because you're human. And humans are wired to take the path of least resistance. Clear calls this, environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. You didn't choose to be addicted to TikTok. TikTok chose you. It built a system that makes infinite scroll easier than putting the phone down. That makes one more video easier than going to sleep. That makes dopamine cheaper and faster than any other source of reward in your life. Machiavelli said, he who deceives will always find someone willing to be deceived. The app deceived your brain, told it, this is what you need. This is what will make you happy. and your brain believed it. And now, 10 years later, you're still carrying the app in your pocket, still taking it to bed, still telling yourself, "I'll just check once." And you wonder why you can't stop. You can't stop because the system is still running. Whether your addiction is a ghost or a parasite, the result is the same. You're older now. Your face changed. Your life changed. But the system that runs your behavior, still the same. Still built by a younger, dumber, more desperate version of you who didn't know what they were doing. And until you dismantle that system, you'll keep getting the same result. So here's how you dismantle it. Not with willpower, not with promises, with strategy. Machiavelli said, "A prince who is not himself wise will never take good advice." You've been taking advice from your 19-year-old self, the one who built this system, the one who said, "Numb is better than broken," or "Scroll is better than boredom." Stop listening to them. They were wrong. And here's how you prove it. Clear gives you 4 laws for building habits. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. But you're not building a habit, you're demolishing one. So you reverse the laws. Law 1, make it invisible. Your addiction has a cue, a trigger that starts the loop. For some of you, it's the phone by your bed. For some of you, it's the route home that passes the gas station. For some of you, it's 11 p.m. and the silence and the feeling in your chest. Make the cue invisible. Phone in another room, different route home, 10-second breathing exercise when the feeling comes. You can't remove every cue, but you can remove the obvious ones. And every cue you remove is one less vote for addict. Law 2, make it unattractive. Right now, your brain thinks the addiction is the solution. It thinks, pain is coming, do the thing, pain stops. Or, boredom is here, do the thing, dopamine comes. You need to rewrite that story. Not with shame, with truth. The truth is, the thing doesn't solve the pain. It delays it. The truth is, the dopamine doesn't make you happy. It makes you dependent. Every time you reach for it, say the truth out loud. This isn't relief. It's debt. This isn't pleasure. It's parasitism. This isn't me being weak. This is me feeding a system I built when I didn't know better. Say it until your brain starts to believe it. Law 3. Make it difficult. Add friction. 20-second delay before you can open the app. Lock on the cabinet where you keep the thing. Blocker on the browser. Cash only, no card. So you have to choose to go to the ATM first. Clear says, the greater the obstacle, the more friction there is between you and your desired end state. Right now, your addiction has 0 friction. It's in your hand, in your pocket, in the next room. 1 motion away. Make it 10 motions away. Make it annoying. Make it inconvenient. Because inconvenience kills more habits than willpower ever will. Law 4. Make it unsatisfying. Right now, your brain gets a reward every time you relapse. 5 minutes of numb, 5 minutes of dopamine. And the shame comes later, so your brain doesn't connect them. You need to make the shame immediate. Track it. Every time you relapse, write it down. Date, time, what you were feeling before, what you felt 5 minutes after. Do this for 2 weeks, and then read it. Read the pattern. Read how many times you told yourself, just once. Read how you felt 5 minutes after every single time. Your brain will start to see, this doesn't work. This has never worked. This will never work. And the reward will die. Machiavelli wrote, It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Right now, you love your addiction. You love the comfort, the familiarity, the 5 minutes of relief. Stop loving it. Start fearing it. Fear what it costs. Fear who you become when you feed it. Fear the 10 years you've already lost. Fear the 10 years you'll lose if you don't stop. Fear is a better motivator than love, because love is what got you here. Love for the easy way out. Love for the thing that makes you feel okay for 5 minutes. But Machiavelli also wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." Fear alone won't save you. Recognition will. You need to see the system, see the cues, see the lies, see the pattern, and then dismantle it, one brick at a time. Clear writes, "The most effective way to change your behavior is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become." Stop saying, "I want to quit." Start saying, "I am not the kind of person who does this." Not, "I'm trying to be." I am. Because here's the secret. You're not becoming someone new. You're already someone new. You're already older, already different, already survived everything that made you build this system in the first place. The only reason you're still addicted is because you keep acting like you're still that person. The 16-year-old who was scared, the 22-year-old who was bored, the version of you who didn't know any better. You're not them anymore. Stop voting for them. Every action is a vote. Clear says it, and he's right. But here's the part he doesn't emphasize enough. You've been voting for addict for 10 years. Not with your words, not with your intentions, with your 3 a.m. hand. With the route you take home. With the phone by your bed. Every action, every cue you leave in place, every system you refuse to dismantle, that's a vote. And you've been voting for the same person, the same identity, the same trap, for 10 years. Start voting differently, one vote at a time, one cue removed, one moment of friction added, one truth spoken out loud. One day where you don't perform recovery, you just are recovered. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Stop performing. Stop appearing. Start being. Not in public, in private. At 3 a.m. when no one's watching. That's where the war is fought. That's where the votes are counted. And that's where you either become someone who dismantled the system or someone who's still pretending to try. Here's the part no one tells you. Your addiction will outlive your youth. Not because it's strong, not because you're weak, but because the system you built to feed it is still running. And time doesn't kill systems. Only you can. Here's the part no one tells you. Your addiction will outlive your youth, not because it's strong, not because you're weak, but because the system you built to feed it is still running. And time doesn't kill systems. Only you can. Machiavelli wrote, "Men nearly always follow paths beaten by others, but sometimes the path you're following was beaten by you, a younger, dumber version of you who was just trying to survive, and that path leads nowhere. You know this. You've walked it 10,000 times. Same cue, same craving, same response, same reward, same shame. 10,000 times. And you'll walk it 10,000 more unless you do the one thing you've been avoiding. Stop walking the path. Burn it. Remove the cues. Rewrite the story. Add the friction. Track the truth. Dismantle the system brick by brick until there's nothing left for the addiction to live in. You don't need motivation. You don't need willpower. You don't need a better version of the same promises you've been making for 10 years. You need to dismantle the architecture. And you need to do it like it's war. Because it is. Machiavelli said, "A prince must have no other objective, no other thought, nor take up any profession but that of war. This is your war. Not someday, not when you feel ready, now." And wars aren't won by people who try. They're won by people who commit. So commit, or don't, but stop lying about which one you're doing. Time will pass. Your face will change. Your body will age. Your life will move forward. And in 10 years, you'll be one of two people. Someone who dismantled the system, or someone who's still walking the same path, telling the same lies, making the same promises. Choose, not tomorrow, not after one more relapse, now. Choose who you're voting for, the person you were or the person you're becoming. And then build the system that makes that vote count. Because Clear was right. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And if your system is still designed to make you fall, you will. Every time, for the rest of your life. Unless you burn it down, brick by brick, cue by cue, lie by lie, until there's nothing left. Until the only system running is the one that makes you free. Stop deceiving yourself. Start dismantling the trap and become the person who doesn't need one.